Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for another 1/12 scale figure review video. And today we are having this Star Wars The Black Series from The Mandalorian. And I have 5 of this figure and 3 of them is a brand new character that has been released by Hasbro, and I really am glad that they did it. So the new figures is Greef Karga, Quill and Moff Gideon. And as for the Target exclusive is the Djarin, the Mandalorian and the Child. And I think this is just a re-release or just using the same figure is the Armorer, which we will going to look at it a little bit more detail later. Just to note to you guys that this video might take some time, for I have to review all of this figure, and you may actually skip the video for the character that you really wanted to see. And yeah, just bear with me guys as I go through all of them. So without further ado, let's start with the box design first. And as you can see here, I already arranged the correct sequence for this box. And as you can see here that they have their name tag at the bottom of the box, each and every character. And for this Mandalorian series, they have this particular orange color for just for this series. So yeah, so for the upcoming figures, they will also come like this. Forward, now we can see this in front of the box. So there's a clear plastic clear window for the box, so you can see all the figures and its accessories in there. And then we have the Star Wars The Black Series at up top, and bottom we have the name for each and every character and Hasbro logo. Yeah, so it's very nice. Djarin box is a little bit more larger, if you can see. And next we are going to see the rear of the box, and as you can see here, we have a little bit more of the bio for each and every character. We also have the same artwork for them, and down below we have the sequence number for the box and also the legal rights labeling. So I'm just going to skip the unboxing process because there's a lot of figures here. It might take some time, and instead I'm just giving you the glimpse of the general look for this figure side by side, in terms of its proportion, in terms of its general accessories that we're going to have before I get into more up close review. So at the end of the video, I will conclude whether this is a recommended figure to collect or not. Is it a pass or is it a must-have figure? So without further ado, let's jump into the review. Okay guys, now we are going to look at this figure in a little bit more detail, and I think I'm going to start with these 3 first because these are the new characters, whereas these 2, I think they probably have the same mold and articulation as the previous releases from all the figure. So I think if you have that one, you probably know what to expect with this figure. So I'm just going to review it a little bit more later. And now we are going to see these first 3 first, and I'm going to start with Moff Gideon, as I think he looks very interesting in terms of this character. Alright, let's look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at each and every figure in detail, and I'm going to review it from A to Z, from the basic proportion and detail close up till the articulation and accessories. So meaning I'm going to look at it as a whole figure, reviewing just once. Alright, let's go. So here is the Moff Gideon, and you can see that his head sculpt is amazing. It does look like the actor, and the paint job this time is, I think, it's very good. It does have captured the profile for this actor, and you can see that it does look good. There's no sloppy paint job. There is no mistake on this head sculpt, so that's pretty good. Okay, yeah, it does have for its articulation, it does not have that range of. There's actually a separate piece over here for the neck and the head, and I think it's on a ball joint, but we do not have the the hinge over here, so it also can tilt, but there's not much, so okay. As going throughout his body, we can see that this is very kind of a metallic paint that they apply here, because this is the armor for him. And alright, this is actually a separate piece. It doesn't connect with the armor, which is good, so you don't have any restriction or hindered articulation movement over there, so that is good. So at the back here we have this plastic cape, which I think, I don't know if they could do a soft good cape, because maybe it's hard for them because there's a dual color here, which is a red on the inside and black on the outside. How does it connect? It has a peg over here, and you guys can just peg it in into this armor here. Yeah, just like that. But the issue is, if you're playing with it and you're slightly going to hold the figure from inside, it might fall off. So okay, I'm just going to lift this first, and we can see all the figure in a little bit more closer and detail. As you can see that we have a various of dark color over here, black color. Obviously there is less paint, less color. It only applies black, maybe a dark gray, a little bit of red or maroon over here, and white and gray. So that is the only color that we're going to get for this figure. And yeah, as you can see that all the material that they printed out is very good. This armor is a separate piece, so yeah, you can actually, if you do know how to custom it, you can actually remove it. So this is a separate piece also, this skirt together with its belt over here, and you can see all the details that they went through for this belt. Is pretty amazing. I think the printing technology has improved for Hasbro. And this gun holster here is attached to the skirt, so it's actually a one piece, and this is removable, the blaster. And yeah, talking about the blaster, this is the detail for it, and there's not much of a paint application over there. It's just I think black color throughout all the surface. So yeah, it can holster pretty well, it doesn't fall off. That's pretty good. And then talking about accessories, this is the only accessories that you're going to get: the blaster and this dark saber, which is pretty yeah, pretty detailed. It doesn't have that, mine is slightly tilt over here. It doesn't really, you know, come out straight, but the hilt is pretty plain. There's not much there. I wish that we could have some of shiny material over there, or maybe some silver. That might be great. With the blade itself, it's pretty nice. We have actually have a little bit translucent over here around in the blade, so mine has a little bit of paint chip over there, so but I'm okay with it. So in terms of its it does not bend or any in a way that is pretty good. So yeah, moving forward, and then we're going to see at the leg. You can see that they managed to capture all the wrinkles for his you know, outfit. If you can see here for this uniform, it's pretty good that this one and this one is not the same, which is good. So it does look natural. Same with his pants, we get this uneven wrinkles over here, and it does not actually the same sculpt, which is good. And then we got this long boot, which is very nice. I love the boots, as you can see here. Yeah, I wish that this material and this boot kind of, you know, at the same shining effect. That would be great. But overall, I think this figure is pretty solid, and yeah, I think it's pretty darn good. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out this figure actually, so bear with me. So let's see his articulation over here. Yeah, he can rotate pretty well, 360, and yeah, he can probably raise his arm there, but you might not want this to, you know, be in a long period of posing. It might damage the shoulder pad, so just be careful. So it does have only a single jointed, but past 90, that is pretty good. And then it does have swivel on his elbow, and then we have rotation on his hands. We have some tilt there, which is pretty good. And this one is hindered. This one is actually hindered a little bit, just a little bit, by its glove over here. So yeah. And then for the middle section here, we have this torso articulation, which is pretty good. It can rotate all around, and then okay, it doesn't have any waist swivel, so that's kind of, you know, yeah, maybe this is already enough, I think, for this figure to, you know, just to move left and right. So yeah. And then at the bottom here, there's nothing much detail over there. It's, I think, pretty much basic articulation for his leg, and we can go that far back, far front, and then we can do this split. And then it does have swivel on the thigh. We have a swivel at the knee, which is good. We have just a single jointed knee. I think this part is hindering, and I think it's actually sufficient enough for this character, because it does not have it doesn't really, you know, get into dynamic poses, so it's pretty good. So all in all, I think this figure is great, and let's move forward with the other figures, shall we? Next up is Quill, so we're going to look at him. I think this is one of the interesting figure for me, and I'll show you a little bit more later. And it has his detail over here, so you can see that the face sculpt is pretty amazing. The paint job also pretty amazing, and you know what, this is a removable helmet, so yeah, it's pretty nice. Although I don't know if we have actually seen him like this in the series. Somebody please comment, because I couldn't remember which episode is it. So they technically has this helmet as a separate piece, so that's pretty good. So you can see all the details over here, the head sculpt. I never know that he has this kind of ears, the elf's ears, so that's kind of good. We have an extra detail on this figure. This is all new sculpt, so I'm so glad that Hasbro, you know, really took a chance on doing this figure. Yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, let's move on, and then we can see all the details here. You can see all the wrinkles, and the detail of the texture here is pretty good. It's pretty neat, and the colors also. I think if they put a little bit more wash here to give it more, to enhance the detail a little bit more, that would be great also. And as you can see, this is the body. There is no middle torso articulation. They only provide us with this waist articulation. Yeah, so, and getting back with this scarf, it does come with this backpack, always back, and it's actually a one piece. So what you can do is you can just remove this hat and take it out to get a little bit more clear for its overall design outfit. So yeah, the head actually can rotate all over, looking down not that much, looking up that far. It has some good tilt over here, and this helmet is, you know, stick pretty well. It doesn't fall off. That is pretty good. We got his belt here with this pouch, the big pouch over here. There is not much detail on it. There is no any paint, or maybe there's a little, but it's hardly to see. Yeah, so yeah, throughout his pants we got this very nice wrinkles over here, and then these boots is pretty good also. Yeah, so going back to the articulation, we can see that it does have this 360 movement, and the hand can probably align with this body, his body shape, then going up, raising his arm to that extent. we have also have this swivel on his elbow. We might have, oh, it doesn't pass 90. That is pretty bad. Maybe this sculpt is hindering too much. And then we also have this swivel rotation on his hands. Just a little bit of tilt, but yeah, not that much. So as I said, he has a waist articulation here that is pretty good. There is no torso articulation over there. He can kick that far, went back that far. It does have this swivel on the thigh and its knee. See that? But it does have a pretty good range there. It's past 90. And then we have this rotation, a swivel at his boot here. That's pretty good. Going forward there and going a little bit over. There's hindered by this piece over here, so it does, oh, it does get through. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, so this is the only accessories for him, unfortunately. So as you can see, this can be removed, both of these, but on the detail here you can see that the details over here is pretty good. So yeah, but getting him to hold his weapon here, that's pretty sad. I think because the hilt here is very thick, so you could probably just do like that, right? So that's about him, basically. Got Moff Gideon falling down. Then we're going to Greef Karga. Okay, among all of the figures, I think this one has a little bit off in terms of the head sculpt. It does not look like the actor. That's pretty sad, because I think maybe they should hire a little more skillful people to do his likeness over here. But overall, I think he does got some resemblance over there, but there is not too much. That is my opinion. So overall, this is the figure, and you can see that he does have pretty good outfit over here. This basically is a separate piece, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the base body over here, the brown one, and the darker brown is, I think, a separate piece. So this this one-sided jacket here also is a separate piece. You can just remove it. And yeah, and he does have this holster over here, left and right. It's one piece together with the belt. And then looking closer, you can see all the texture for its sculpt over here on his pants. It's pretty good, same as his body here, his outfit, his uniform. They have that tiny little detail texture on it, so that's pretty good. Same as his arm over here. And then the boot, everybody is wearing a boot, so he does have a very nice boot also. A little bit a green in color, the only green in this outfit. Yeah. So take a look at its accessories. So we got here his pistol, and I think there's not much detail, but this one has brown color over here, so that is a great job. They went a little bit, it's not just a black pistol, so that's good. They have some variants of color for him. Yeah, I think he suits really well. The body shape is pretty good also, it's spot on. And the only gripes is the head sculpt, as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, let's move on to the articulation. So this one has more range in terms of the head movement, side to tilt. That's pretty good. The rotation here, this is a separate piece on the neck. so you might get a little bit more range on his head area. So same as Quill, he doesn't have this torso articulation, but I'm just going to check. Yes, there is no articulation there, so we only have this waist articulation over here. So yeah, the hand can rotate 360. There is no issue. This is actually a separate piece, and it's a very thin piece. It's not that thick, so it's a soft plastic, so you can just move around your arms around. So this is far as it can go. So they also have this double jointed swivel on the, he's also have this swivel on the elbow past 90. Rotation on his hands is pretty good. A bit of tilt over there, that's pretty good. And then you can kick forward like that far, and kick backward that far. Wow, that is pretty good. And this is actually pretty good articulation over here. It does have swivel on his thigh, on his knee, and on his foot also. It does have this ankle pivot rocker, can go that far. Yeah, so basically he has some pretty good articulation. Let's holster this one for him just to look how does it look. Yeah, it does fit perfectly. There's no issue there. So yeah, so basically if you want to get these 3 figures, I think this is worth the money, because you get a new character, a new mold for this character, and the articulation is pretty good, and the paint job also is pretty good. The likeness for the actors, for both of them, is pretty good, except for him. But for me, it is acceptable because they actually improve on the head sculpt department, so they can be easily they can do not so much dynamic poses, but they can do some pretty good awesome poses. So if you want to get this 3, I'm highly recommended for you guys to get this 3. So now we are going to see at this armorer and Mandalorian and this child. I think I'm going to look at this armorer first because it has lesser accessories. We only get these 2 accessories, rather than the other releases that we got previously. So yeah, let's begin from the top. I think the helmet is actually really good. There's some details of it. There is not just a plain material that they use. They even have this kind of smudge on his helmet, and the paint job isn't bleeding to the helmet, which is very good. They really captured the detail for this helmet, so there is no sloppy paint job. They do it really well. You can see that. So it does rotate 360, and as you can see here, we got this some sort of head sculpt, but it's actually a basic head sculpt. There's no paint or detail on his nose or eyes or whatsoever. It's just, I think, I haven't removed it yet, but I think it's just a plain head sculpt. Why did they do that? I think because they wanted to just feel the proportion for the head, so it doesn't go too low or too high. So they need a real head sculpt in there, and just peg this helmet in. So that's what I thought. Okay, so it does have this rotation. The neck is a separate piece, and the head sculpt in there is also separate piece, but in the same color for together with his outfit, which is a light gray. So I think this head sculpt would benefit more if they just paint it with a skin tone color. So okay, So what we have back here is, I don't know what to call this piece, but it does have this peg here. There's a 3 peg over here that you can just put it on this holes here on his armor. So when you do that, what you do is you just peg it in and slide the peg inside the armor. The thing is, when you are trying, if you are doing just simple poses like this, it might stay, but once you do a really dynamic poses, yeah, it might get, you know, unattached. So as you can see, that is the result. So this one is a separate piece, is a plastic, is a soft plastic, so yeah, you can just remove it, but currently it is pegged at the center on her chest. So yeah, if you want to custom it, you can just remove the head and remove this armor. You can just do so. Alright, so in terms of the detail, I don't have the previous one, so you might just can tell me what is the difference is, but from what I'm seeing here, there's a little bit of smudge over here, maybe because he's forging the armor, so they did not go for the cleanest of armor for her. So yeah, that might be logical. That explains why her helmet is all smudgy here. You know, there's smudge on her helmet. And then moving forward, it does not have this torso articulation, but I think it does move from the waist part. So yeah, we only have this articulation point here. And for the arm, it can rotate pretty good, 360. There is no issue. It's not hindered with the armor here. And then he can spread wide his hands until that far. Swivel at the elbow, swivel at the hands. Yeah, only hindered by the gloves, but it also, she can, you know, get down that far. And this one, I don't know, is it like that, the difference of the colors? Maybe you could tell me if you know the exact detail, but as you can see, it is a pretty good over here. They managed to get the sculpt right. The cuts are very deep, so you can just see all the details over here. Same as the hands. And going forward is this, and moving forward is this skirt with her belt here. Actually is a one piece over here. It does, and we have this line here is actually, we can feel it with our hands, with our fingers. You can feel it. That's pretty good. And then there's a little bit of wash here to make it more enhanced in terms of its texture over there. That is good. And as you see it closely, you can see this tiny little texture leather like material here. That is pretty good. And then on the belt here, you can see all the details. Alright, and you see the accessories here is just a plain, I think it's the same accessories that we get from the previous releases. It's all the same. Yeah, at the leg articulation, we could, you know, kick forward that far, not so much to the back. Swivel at the thigh, swivel at the knee, and then pivot, going back that far, going forward not too much because it's hindered by this part over here. So yeah, I just wish that peg hole, or I just wish that this joint there has the same color. Yeah, and I just wish this boot over here has some variant of brown color. Maybe they could imply a little bit more darker color over this strap. But all in all, these boots are really great in terms of its sculpt. Yeah, so that is for this armor. There is not much to tell. I think basically it's the same as the previous figure. If you have that one, you might just keep it, but if you are a box collector and you wanted it to synchronize, you wanted it to look good on shelf, you might have to get her too. Yeah. So that's about the armorer, and now we're going to look at this Mandalorian. I'm saving him for the last. Yeah. Before I get into him, let's take a look at its accessories. The child, I'm considering it as an accessories because it does not have any articulation whatsoever. It just rotates his head, so there's no articulation there. So basically, he is just an accessories for him. But the thing that we are getting a new item for him is this pram, which I think is pretty good. As you can see on the elevation here, the front elevation. They went for a gray color, light gray color, which is, but I just hope that they went for a shiny type of look. That would be great, just like this gold over here, like this one. This is the cover. What you can do is you just press it a little bit and just find the holes there and peg it in, just like that. Can Baby Yoda fit in? I don't know, let's try it. Yes, he does fit in there. So yeah, so I'm just going to leave it open so you can see Baby Yoda in there. Oh, they're not calling him Baby Yoda anymore. It's Grogu. It's Grogu, little Grogu here. So it's really nice that they gave us a stand for him. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. So I just leave him over there. So he came with this 5 Beskar units. So let's take a look closer. It does have some sculpt there, and there is Imperial logo over here if you can see it, but it's just too damn small. So yeah, front and back has this Beskar, texture over here. So that's about it. And then he comes with this tracker. Is it a tracker? Just a plain sight from the back. A little bit more black and red color for the button. So yeah, that's pretty nice. So I do actually have the SH Guards one, as you can see. If you were to compare both of them, the SH Guards one's a little bit more detail. Yeah. So okay, let's go check out his jetpack. This is his jetpack. Again, I think they would look good even more if they just paint it silver instead of this dark gray over here. Yeah, so it does have this good mold. It's symmetrical, and yeah, mine's a little bit angled over this bottom side here. As you can see, it's not really aligned. And it does have 3 pack over here that we can just strap it at the back of Mando. Okay, the issue is that if I am going to wear this jetpack like that and peg it in, you simply could not get a good look from Mando. Yeah, it doesn't work. As you can see, it cannot be slide in, so that is a bummer. So the only thing that if you want to him to wear this jetpack, you have to remove this plastic cap here. Yeah, or you might have to get some custom cape to get him posed with this jetpack. It just doesn't work. Over this side or this side, it just doesn't work. It looks ugly. So I'm not going to suit him up with this jetpack, obviously, because I don't have any custom cape. So I might just pose him like this. Okay, for the Mandalorian rifle, I think it's a basic rifle that we get from the previous release. It just have some tiny little detail here, which is good, I think. it gives the rifle more realism in there, so that is good. So you can pack this at the back, these holes here, you can just peg it in like that. It's meant for that. So yeah, not too bad, but I still believe that this cape has to, you know, cut a little bit more from here. They should cut it from here and make it just a little bit tiny, or you know, make it more narrower, so it does look much proportion. But now it does not look like that, so that's a bummer. So I'll just pack it out first, and then we'll see. The last accessories for him is the blaster, which I think is pretty good. It's pretty detailed. They managed to catch all the details, tiny little details there, so it's pretty good. Let's see if it does. Yes, it does fit in perfectly, as you can see here. So yeah, can fit in perfectly. So yeah, I'm gonna holster it in here. You have a peg there, and then just close it like that. Alright, so looking at the figure, I think the main difference for this figure is the head sculpt. You get Djarin, or the character, the face sculpt in there, so you can just open like this, and yeah, as you can see, it's not the greatest head sculpt for Pedro Pascal, but I think since we are not going to see him, we only see him last episode of season 1, so yeah, only that one time. So I think what they do is they capture him looking like this at the final scene when he is injured. So maybe we could have a look into his head sculpt in the future with a better, you know, hair sculpt. And I think Hasbro, for me, has done a pretty good job over here. The pen application is spot on. There's no weird eyes that you can see. It balanced. It does look symmetry. We have this face sculpt, really good. Although it's a little bit wider, they should go for a little bit more narrower, so to look it more, you know, natural. Yeah, it does. It's in a ball joint, I think, and this neck is a separate piece, so you can just tilt the head left and right. But I think just a little bit at the front and looking upwards that far. Yeah, some people wear his helmets and gets a little bit of glimpse of his chin. So what do we do is you just push it to the front just to hide the chin. So you can see here what I've done. So that's how you wear the helmet. Maybe at the back you might see a little bit of his hair, but for me it's okay because it's at the back. The important is from the front. So yeah, and I do prefer this helmet sculpt better than the previous releases, because I do not own the previous Mendo, but what I can see is that the helmet tends to, you know, tends to move inside like that, whereas this one is much you know, get a little bit wider like that. So I'm liking this kind of helmet. So let's put it again properly, and there you have it. It's a better head sculpt from the previous one, and yeah, and we got a really good head sculpt in there. So I think this is a basic articulation for Mando. This is a separate piece, the shoulder pad, and then he can open wide his hand to that extent. Has 90 degrees rotation at his elbow, rotation at his hands, tilt, hinge, and then it has a torso articulation, but this piece over here is actually strapped into his waist, so it's a pretty fixed joint over there, so you can do anything. That's why it doesn't give you the waist swivel, because we already have the torso articulation over here, so that's good. And then this is actually a very soft material, but I suggest that you just get a custom one, get a soft good that would benefit this figure a little bit more better. So on his detail for the belt, as you can see, the paint job, there's a little bit bleeding over here. That's the first. And then all his pouch, his bomb, I think that should be red and red at the middle of this tiny little thing. Is it a bomb? So we have a color bleed over here. Show his back. So these are the pack holes for the jetpack. And throughout the figure, I think the wrinkles is pretty good. And all in all, for the shin guard, I think they managed to capture detail. I think it's the same as the previous releases. Yeah, so he can kick that far. Not so much the back. It's quite a bummer. And then double jointed knees. He is the only one that got double jointed knees. And swivel at the thigh. Can rotate, can spread his leg like that. Good. Can put his boot forward, backward. It's a little bit tight there. Swivel, rotation. Oh, it's a bit hard, tight. So that's all for Mando. I think what we're going to get is a very simple and basic Mandalorian, which this is my first Black Series Mandalorian. I might have to get the first release, which is the suit before this Beskar armor, just to complete the set, So I think this is for me is a must-have figure, because this release is the only one currently that has this extra alternate head sculpt for this character, Djarin or Pedro Pascal. So go grab him if you haven't, if you don't have any Mandalorian figure yet, like me. So I was kind of waiting for this time to arrive, and it does, just as I thought that he will eventually came with unhelmeted head sculpt. Okay guys, just to wrap up on my review, and for me, I think this is a must-have figure. If you are a fan of Star Wars Mandalorian, you must get this set. This is, I think, one of the best sets that we have got so far since the last releases. And then I know that Mandalorian is getting much more popular nowadays with the season 2. I hope that we can get more characters and complete from the season 1. And yeah, also we would like if we could get from the season 2 Ahsoka Tano and Bo-Katan as well. And for the overall general thoughts for me on this set is there has plenty of improvement in terms of the articulation, the head sculpt, and also I think the proportion wise for each and every one is in a good way. I think they have upped their game, and yeah, I think this line is one of the best lines so far. Yeah, just hoping for the best upcoming releases from Hasbro. So guys, if you find this review informative and if you like it, subscribe and share to others, and I hope you have a good time watching this. Sorry for the long video. So till we meet again in my next video, sayonara.